Yeah, I may try a short on M and Q. I may try a short on M and Q. Just waiting. We have data that's about to come out, but I am kind of leaning short based on my system. So we'll see. have it set up, so I'm not taking anything yet. They're just popping this market right now. I could chase longs, but I don't have a clear setup to chase longs. The only setup that's here right now is just scalping, which is off the 5 minute. You could have played the bounce off 24,109, but I want something a lot more stronger. So we have news coming out. We'll see what happens. All right, I'm gonna try a light short position. Just waiting. I want a good trigger. I want a good entry. I just don't want to get stopped out. That's my only thing. All right, let's try this. I'm gonna try one short here. Stop loss on this one is going to be $149. All right, so I'm short. Let's see what we can do. I'm just gonna be taking scalps too. As much as I don't want to be short, the system is saying expect a pullback, so I want to see if they do the pullback or if I get stopped out here. So it's gonna be a little bit it's gonna be a little bit interesting on this position here. Are they gonna pull it down or are they gonna pump it up? It's the biggest question right now. I guess shorts aren't ready. That's annoying. That is annoying. So my first trade just got stopped out. It's okay. I did see a pullback. However, buyers are currently strong right now as far as trying to push this to the upside. So we're gonna see what happens again, if they reject it or if they pop it. Again, I'm leaning more towards a rejection to the downside, but then just seeing the bigger time frames, like the 4-hour time frame, and seeing this consolidated setup here, it makes me want to play the upside pump. Like, I understand there's a short, but it makes me kind of want to play an upside move. Yeah, see, look, I wanted to short, or like shorting looked interesting, but they just keep trying to pop it to the upside. But the 30-minute and 1 hour does call for a pullback. The only thing that'll invalidate this is if we break above this 391. Then at that point I can see some more upside. But apart from that, I can see us pulling down a little bit. This is gonna be a little bit hard. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Not gonna lie to y'all. Like, the only thing that's stopping me from really full sending shorts is we dropped a lot yesterday, right? We dropped a whole lot. So my question is, how much more downside do they want to put or give us this week? That's my biggest question. Oh, yeah. There they go, pulling it back. Again, the only reason why I'm leaning short is because a 30-minute and 1 hour is saying to short. And we're breaking order or opening ranges. So if we break under 109 on NQ, I see us going down to 24,044. And if that doesn't hold, then we go lower. But again, how much more lower do they want to bring this market? I do not know. They're still pulling it down. We're breaking under 109 on NQ, so that's not really good. We could pull down to that 044 level if we break under 109. They're trying to bounce that 109 on NQ. If they can't hold it, I see lower. I see lower. it goes, spilling down. Spilling down to that 044 level. Now, if we can't hold 044 on this bounce here, we're gonna go lower to 23,980. So if anybody's trying to be a buyer here, they'd want buyers to step in here at this level. "30 minutes still shows more of a pull down that we could probably get, but again, I'm watching this 044 level, because if we don't hold it, then I can see us pulling down more. If they hold 044 on NQ, I expect a bounce. So this one's going to be a little bit hard for the shorts. Again, we fell a lot yesterday, so it's like, how much more downside are they trying to give us? That's my big question. They're trying to pop it now. It's actually a really nice pop. So they held the 044, they popped it right back up to the 110 level. If they hold it above 110, they're popping it back up to 174, and then they'll probably go retest that 254 area. So this one's, again, shorts, a little bit hard to be shorting this. It's not even easy to long this, but if you have these levels up, then everything will be a little bit more smoother to see what the market wants to do. So what the market told me was, okay, it failed to hold this level up here, so it was coming down to 24,214. That failed, so 24,174 was on deck, and then that failed, so then we had to pull back down to this 24,105. That failed, and that's why I said 24,044 could have been on deck. So the fact that that bounce took us back up to this level at 109. Now, if that 109 fails again, it's right back down to 044 and potentially lower. "30-minute and 1 hour still says we could pull back. So it's not really giving me any long setup just yet, any clear longs at least. You'll see some intraday pops, yes, but clear longs is, I'm not getting that right now. So it's back down to 044. If that doesn't hold, we're spilling down here to 23,981. Big bounce right now. Yep. That's actually, these levels are actually crazy, guys. We held 044 again, so what did they do? Bounce it right back above 110. So if 110 holds, if they don't break it back under 110, they're going to bounce it up to 174. But it's like a ping pong. If they break it under 110, it's going to flush right back down to 044. So watching that 110 area on NQ, if they hold it above, we pop to 24,174. It's a 3 candle down, so this could be a pretty big move. Five-minute stochastic RSI is in a buyer zone, so I'm expecting short-term pops, which is what we're seeing. Although the 30-minute is in a 100 zone, you have scalpers that are coming in here trying to play this bounce. Oh yeah, they're bouncing this thing. Yep, there you go. Now if 214 holds, they're taking it to 254 and vice versa. It's a crazy pop. That was a crazy, crazy pop. I want to play long, but I just need my 30-minute and 1 hour to get into that zone for me to safely long this. Until then, like, these are just scalpers going to work here. As you can see, they're pulling it down now. Watching that 107. If 107 bounces, then they bounce it back up. If 107 doesn't hold, they take it down to 044. Right now, this is like clockwork. There's 044. No bounce is going lower to 23,980. I still don't have any clear longs right now. There's no clear longs. Hmm. Watching that 044 level. If they hold it, we bounce back up to 110. But if not, they're going to sell this down to 23,982. Dangerous right now. Market doesn't know what it wants to do. Yeah, market does not know what it wants to do right now at all. It's looking like it wants to pull down. Yeah. Yeah, this market is fucking weird, guys. It's pretty weird. Either they dump this a lot or they're just gonna bounce this. This market is very, very weird. Risky to trade right now. It is, I think it's in a two down right now on a daily. Yeah, so it's very fucking weird to trade. There's 23 980s. Now they either hold this or they're gonna flush the market. Yeah, they gotta hold this or we flush, guys. We flush hard if they don't hold this. It's no mercy right now. They're flushing this thing. .30 and the 1 hour still says it wants to pull back. So watching that 23,979. If they hold it above there, then they bounce it back into 24,044. But if they hold it under 979, I do see like 23.6K in play. buyers just left right at open, which is crazy. They're trying to bounce it back above 79. If they bounce it above 79, we go to 24,044. These green levels are they're like almost like key levels, but they're opening ranges. So if we hold above one of them, we bounce to the next one above. If we hold below like 24,044, then we go to the next green level below. That's pretty much how they play out. And then after that, I don't really have any green levels in this session to adhere to on the downside. So I would have to go to previous sessions to see, okay, where could the next level below be? So I'm just watching it very closely in case they want to bounce it or not. But I don't have a clear trade, whether it's long or short. I mean, I do see the shorts, but the where we're at, it's just too tricky for me to really play and hold on to. So I would have to be scalping it. As you can see, they held it above 79 and they bounced it to 24,044. So the same thing goes. If 044 holds, they bounce it to 24,109. If 24,109, let's say they bounce it to 24,109 and it rejects, they take it right back down to 24,044. See the pop? It's beautiful. I mean, if you're a scalper, this is scalper's territory right now. Just take it from green line to green line to green line, literally. Just from green line to green line. is a very difficult market to trade right now. I'm literally just sitting out on my hands. So we got a new 30-minute candle to open. It's in a one candle, so it's consolidating right now. There's still no clear setup at hand. Stochastic RSI on a 30-minute still not in my buyer zone to go long, so we could still see some pullbacks, but they're popping it in between. So it's just very fucking difficult. I would advise sitting on your hands with this. Unless you're a scalper and you can obviously catch scalps in this move, just sitting on your hands is the best move, honestly. $30 still pulling back. 1 hour still shows we could still pull down as well. don't know. I just don't like this price action personally. I personally don't like it. They could have easily just flushed this and let it happen, but they're just taking their sweet time as far as like pulling it down and everything like that. So I personally don't like it. Yeah, I don't like it at all. Still sitting on my hands because this is just not it. It's not worth it's not worth trying to fucking short. It's not even worth trying to long right now. Yeah. Look at them bouncing it. Like I said, shorting this is just not that it's not there, but it's just like they're making it super difficult with all the consolidation they did last night. Super difficult. One thing that allows me to sit on my hands and not really force a trade is I just know that there's always going to be opportunity in the market every single day, you know? So if I don't find opportunity today, I'll find it next week. If I don't find it that following week, not the following week, but like, let's say next week, Monday comes and I don't see opportunity, I'll probably get it the next day. So I just know that the market is always going to present me an opportunity to take my setup. It may not happen every day, but another thing that helps me sit on my hands is just keeping myself busy. So if I don't see my setup, I'll just try and, you know, go for a walk or just try and run errands or something. Just keeping myself busy. That forces me to not what you may hear they call boredom trade, because boredom trading is not good. They're popping it now. 24,109 is on deck. Again, these green levels are pretty much your support and resistance. Just think of it like that. So they held 044. They're going to pop it to 109. If they don't hold 109 like they did last time, they're going to go right back down to 44, back down to 979. So above 109, 24,174 could be in play. 24,214 could be in play, all the way up to 24,319. If that clears above, you have more levels to work with, but this is what the market wants to do right now, just chop around. It's not really making a real move. So, yeah. Just like I said, they failed to break it above 109, took it right back down to 044. That failed. Now they're taking it back down to 23,979. This market, ladies and gents, it's not, I don't want to say it's not tradable, because you could probably find a move in here, but this is chop city, literal chop city. I don't understand how they're just chopping it up like this. Just make a move, you know. So again, if they hold it above 23,979, it's going right back to 24,044. If that breaks above, it's going back up to this 109. This is, I guess I can call this a ping pong session right now. It's a ping pong session. Look at how they just bought it to 24,109 though. It's just, like I said, if they hold it above this green line, they take it to this green line. If they hold it above that green line, they take it to this green line up here. And again, so if they hold it above 24,109, I have some intraday levels, 24,174, 24,214, 24,254. Those levels could be tested on NQ. If they hold NQ under 24,109, guess you can already assume where it's going right back to, that 044 level. And if that doesn't hold, 23,979. So I'm just looking at the setup right now. It looks like consolidation on a 5-minute at least, clear as day. So again, anyone trying to short this is just having a difficult time. I would tell people, like, I understand you're trying to short, but look at how much NQ dropped. Look at how much it dropped yesterday. It dropped a lot yesterday. So it's just like, how much more downside are you really expecting this to give? At least, like, again, not saying it can't give any more downside, because it can, but are you expecting another big 1% down day 2 days in a row, you know? And we haven't really had any bearish news. So it's like, I would side on the fact that they could consolidate it, not even rally it back up, but just consolidate it, keep things sideways before figuring out what it wants to do, whether there's earnings that'll help give it a push or drop it, whether it's data that's coming out that'll help give it a push or drop it. They're opening the new 5-minute candle above 24,109, so we could potentially pop to 24,174. it is, 24,174 about to hit. If 24,174 holds above, they're going to take it to 24,214. If 24,174 doesn't hold, it's right back down to 109. 24,174 is holding, so they're trying to pop it to 214. If 214 holds, they pop it to 254. If 214 doesn't hold, they take it right back down to 174. Again, this is a scalper's market right now. Yes, you could have went long down here, which is perfectly fine, but taking it to these levels, this is a scalper's market. So, like I stated earlier, how much more downside do they want to put in? We don't really know, but my guess is I don't think they want to do too much more downside, at least today. Maybe a slight retracement, but we'll see what the market has in store for it. So there's a retest of 174 there on NQ. If that doesn't hold, it goes right back down. If it holds, it pops to 214. There it goes, popping. It's just crazy how it's just hitting all these levels right now. It could try and break out as well. So it needs to break above 24,266 to really break out. So if it breaks out above that, you're going to see 24,319 hit. Looks like they want to push this higher. That's what it's looking like. It's the moment of truth right now for NQ and ES. If it breaks this overnight level, the overnight highs, then it can push, but if not, it's just going to reject right back down. So it needs to break overnight highs to let me know once more upside. It's trying. trying to break overnight highs. Now it's trying for 24,319. MNQ's at 24,291. It's trying to make a push for that 24,319. It's breaking overnight highs. There's 24,314, pretty much a couple points off my target. If that breaks above, we can see a squeeze to 24,384. There it is. Now it's going to try and squeeze. There's a squeeze. There's a squeeze. There it is. That is crazy. And now 384 holds are going to squeeze it up to 449, but that's insane. What a push. What a push. He estimated squeeze too. I think it's at like what, 60, 618 or something like that. Let me see. Oh wow, no, it's at 6630s. Big push. Everything just went crazy today. Everything went crazy. Y'all would have to be drunk if you think I didn't catch that move. You guys would have to be drunk if you think I didn't play that. Wait, hello. Anyways, now I just want to see what else is gonna happen. It's 9. I don't really have much. I do see more upside if they do hold above at least 384. We can see it more of a pump. So I don't think this is done by any chance. I think we're gonna get some more upside. So what I'm looking at right now is if they hold this above 24,318, we pop back to 24,384. If they hold it above 384, we pop to 24,450. If they hold it under 24,318, we sell back down to 24,254. If that doesn't hold, we sell back down to 24,214. If that doesn't hold, it's back down to 174, and then back down to midnight open at 141 into that consolidation zone. So I wouldn't be chasing any longs right now. Just wait to see the consolidation and see what happens at whatever levels. If you're scalping, yes, you can play it from level to level, but now you just want to see consolidation. Just sitting on my hands, chat. Just sitting on my hands. Literally sitting on my hands. Like, I got no reason to chase anything. If they want to pull it back, let them pull it back. But if I'm not seeing more of a setup, I'll call it a day. But that was a nice consolidated bounce pretty much. And when you're trading and you have skin in the game, and when I say skin in the game, I mean you've been trading for a cool minute, you start to develop a certain, I call it trader's logic. And the trader's logic is, we sold off, what was this? The high was 25,306. We sold all the way down to 24. That's like over 1,000 points, right? So if I'm looking at that, and that was in a day, in one session, okay, if I'm looking at that and I'm going into the next session, it's like, okay, yes, I know that that can lead me to be bearish, but are they going to do another big flush like that? That's the question. And 9 times out of 10, there's almost always a retracement in the market before they continue the downside move, or before deciding to reverse it to the upside. So just me thinking that coming out the gate, yes, I have my 30-minute leaning short as far as like, this is over, this could be, we could see a pullback, and the same thing with the hourly, and it's still showing it. However, the smaller frames like the 5-minute and the 15-minute time frame, we're telling a different story, which I was kind of referring to or adhering to, only because the big move that we had, I assumed there was going to be scalpers in this market, and the long buyers are going to try and position themselves later on as far as like a big breakout, or, you know, a big consolidated hold. So the 5 and the 15-minute are very good if you want to take scalps and catch, you know, intraday moves, because that was telling a different story as far as like, they were saying that sellers were here, but they were preparing for buyers, which is why we've seen consolidation happening down here. And that was based on the stochastic RSIs, right? So the 15-minute opened up in the seller zone, or my 100 zone. So that told me, hey, I didn't really want to be long here. They were pulling it back. They brought it back to its 0 zone, or I call it the buyer zone, found buyers, and then popped it back up using these green levels as support along the way, pretty much. So looking at what's going on with NQ right now, it held above 318. So now it popped right back to 384. As you can, it's clear as day. So now if it holds above 384, it's going to pop to what is that, 447, give or take. If it doesn't, it's going right back down to the 318. So again, these green levels are very, very, very key. Like if you look at MES, very key. And I use it along with volume profile. So we held value area low along with the consolidation. So that just told me that, okay, they can for sure pop this up. And just looking at volume profile, value area low was at 65.54 here on ES, popped it up to PLC at 65.67. Value area high was at 65.89. So volume profile players could have just played that session profile and would have called it a day. They wouldn't have cared about all of this extra move. But having these open range levels up gives you that extra push, so to speak. But when you combine them, as well as combining them with stochastic RSI, the easiest way to play it is like, okay, if I'm on a 5 or 15-minute and I want to go long, as far as like me not really interested in shorts, 15-minute attracted buyers at 65.46, I could go long there, take it to the value area low and hold for PLC, hold for value area high. So you would have still caught it from 65.46 all the way to 65.89. A nice 40-point move and some change, which is still very good. If you're holding runners, the way you would have played that was if value area high broke above, You're playing it to the next value area sessions from the previous sessions, and you also have the opening ranges to help you. So if we broke above 65.89, I had a point of control from the previous session that was at 65.96. That would have been my next target. And if we broke above that, I had a value area low that was sitting at 65.32. So that would have been my next upside target. Now to get there, you would have had these, again, you can look at it as pit stops. Above 65.96, you're going to 66.03, 66.18, all the way up to 66.33, which lines up with this value area low there. And above that, I don't have any green levels to work with, so that's where I go, again, to these value area sessions and look at where my next target could be. So if we break above that 66.32, we go to 66.49. If we break above 49, we go to 66.68. And then I have more green levels to work with, and I can use that as targets, right? But let's say we hold under 66.50. We go right back down to 66.32, and if that doesn't hold, adhere to your green levels all the way right back down. It's pretty much that simple. And just looking at how the stochastic RSI is right now on a 15-minute and on a 5-minute, I don't care if this pops more. I'm not gonna go long. I wouldn't play long. I would just wait it out. Wait for a much better dip, in my opinion. But session volume profile, very key. It helps a lot. I could just hide these levels right now and just show you volume profile and just play off that, and you would see exactly what I'm talking about, right? So even if you just played the volume profile and stuck to that alone, you wouldn't have went long up until you've seen, I guess, this 2 up. Yeah, this 2 up here above this profile low. So you would have seen that it popped above 68. So if you didn't go long above 68 and you were using a strat, your long entry would have been here at above 24.94, right? So with that being the case, you would have then targeted the POC here. And this is on a 5-minute. If you go on different time frames, they'll update. But like, let's just say we stuck to the 15-minute. 68 would have still been your long. Your trigger would have still been at the 90s on the 15-minute time frame here, and that still crosses from that buyer zone, and you would have been targeting 24.201 and 24.253. That's your POC and your value area high. All of this, you wouldn't have cared. You would have just, again, played the value area session. And it's the same thing with ES here. So if we look at ES, if we just played the value area session, it was a bit tighter here on ES, but still posed a good move. You wouldn't have went long until the hold above 54 or 55. So it held above that. If you wanted to wait for a trigger, your trigger didn't happen until POC. But if you wanted to go long prematurely, since this was a much cleaner setup, you could have went long at the hold above 55. Your first target is 67. Your second target is 90. You don't care about anything that's happening above here. You're just playing the profile, if that makes sense. So yes, all of this would have given you FOMO, but if you have experience with a profile, you could have easily went to the previous sessions and just played off those previous session profiles and just use those as your target levels if you had runners going. But that's essentially how to, play session volume profile. You could just literally play within the sessions and not care about anything that happens out of there, because this is what they consider the market auction. But conjoining that with the opening ranges just makes everything a lot more stronger, right? So stochastic RSI, opening ranges, and then if you play with VWAP, having VWAP up just makes things even much more stronger. So I don't have to have all the EMAs up. I could just have VWAP showing. Just makes things a lot stronger. So above VWAP, we already know trend is up. Below VWAP, trend is down. So you would have been long before it broke above VWAP. So you would have known to hold your longs above that VWAP. Use the levels, use the profiles as your targets. So I hope that makes sense. And then I know there's people here who probably run with ICT or whatever. So I'm sure within any of this setup, like within this consolidation, I'm sure there was a fair value gap. So I don't know how to find it too well, but if I'm just looking right off my eye, I think this was a fair value gap here on NQ from 24,109 to 24,94. That was like what, a 5-minute fair value gap. I could be wrong. I don't know, but that's what it looks like. So that could have been another entry point for longs off of that fair value gap. And I think on ES there was a fair value gap as well. Yeah, from what is that? 65.72 to 65.77. I think so. Yeah. If I learn that, I'm sure my strategy can just be even much more accurate as far as entries go. But as of right now, I'm not interested in chasing any of this up here, guys. If we pull back on a 5-minute, cold into the buyer zone and consolidate up here, okay, I'll probably go in for a re-entry. Same thing on a 15-minute. If we pull back, consolidate, I'll probably go in for a re-entry. Only because, again, how much more downside do they want to pull in the market? I don't know. It seems like they could retrace this just a little bit, at least, you know, a little bit more, because they've just been consolidating it. So I'll stay live a little bit longer and check to see if we can get a decent pullback. If there's no decent pullback and they just continue running this, I don't want to chase this, so I'll just probably end the live and just go from there. But as of right now, I'm looking for a pullback, or at least for the 5-minute stochastic RSI to call into the buyer zone and at least get the 15-minute there too, so we can potentially get a re-entry to play an upside push. My volume profile settings. Yes, I can show you my volume profile settings. So on TradingView, it's called SVP, but this is my settings here. So that's my settings. And then I also have midnight open as well, just because like that helps me as well. But yeah, again, I'm not interested in chasing this. Give me a pullback or cool the stochastic RSIs and I'll be interested. But until then, do whatever you want to do up here. I'm unbothered. They're still trying to pop it. I'm not chasing it, but we could pop to 24,600. I'm not chasing it though. Give me a pullback and then I'll make my decision. No pullback? No, thank you. Capital preservation is key. Capital preservation is key, ladies and gents. Trust me. Looks like they're just gonna pop it and go. They're holding it above 384, so if they hold it above 384, that pops to 447. If you guys haven't already, please drop a like, and if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Show support for free. They're popping it. Still no point of entry. They're just consolidating it again, but 5 minutes stochastic RSI is kind of cooling off. Just kind of cooling off. Nothing crazy. This is where you have to pick up one. You sit on your hands or you try and play this consolidation. Now you can win with the consolidation because again, I do think there's still upside, but I don't have a clear entry point. So me taking an entry here would just be like chasing for me personally. So I'm sitting out. I don't have a reason to chase this. I can still wait. and I'm pulling it back. Again, this is why I said I'm not interested in chasing. I'd rather wait for a pullback to see what happens. $15 minutes still shows we could maybe pull back a little bit more, but we'll see. I'm not seeing any more of a setup right now. It looks like they just want to pull this back. So I'll give it up until like what, 10:30 to see if we get anything. But as of right now, it just looks like they want to call out the 15-minute again. But we'll see. Looks like they're trying to find some buyers here on the 5 minute. Me personally, I might wait it out just a little bit. I mean, it is a 5 minute 2 up trigger. I could take the 2 up trigger and have a stop just under it here at 201, but it's at 274. That's a wide stop. So, uh, yeah, I'm just wait, let it do its thing. We got about 5 more minutes before I just decide to call it a day. I do see more upside. I don't expect them to just give me like purely sell it off, but 30 minutes still not cooling off on the stochastic RSI. Neither is the 1 hour. So I mean, I'm still being very cautious with longs. However, I do still see a potential retracement back to the upside. Just being very cautious here. 15 minutes still could see somewhat of a pullback. So next 5 minutes that comes, if I don't get anything, I'm just gonna call it a day because I don't have to risk I don't have to risk anything if I don't have an A plus setup. Right now, it's still scalpers territory. So they're just holding it in between a value area high and a point of control. So definitely not really something I want along. Anybody trying to play this is trying to play the retest of the breakout of overnight high. So that's where we get our value area high and a point of control. Me personally, I like playing the value area low touches if it bounces off of value area low and goes up. So either this profile updates and gives us a new value area low that's up here and gives us a new value area high that's a lot higher, or I mean, I could anticipate a pullback down here to this orange line, which is my value area low, which I don't want it to go down. So if they want to just do a retest of the breakout and push it again, by all means, they can do it, and I don't have to sit and play that move. Since I know what I like to play is like a value area low touch. So they would have to update the profiles. And when I say they, I'm just talking about price action. So it's doing the retest of the breakout and pushing. So now it's going up to that 322. If that breaks, it's back to 384, and then back to, or it's gonna break out to 448. So, not again, it's a nice setup, but I would have preferred, or we got a 15-minute 2 up as well. That's whatever. I don't mind. I don't mind not playing along with it. It's okay for me personally. It's perfectly fine. It's a nice pop though. It's nice to see. They broke it above value area high, and they're pushing it. That value area high was a retest of the overnight high as well. Amazing push 3384 or 24384. I think after that we should see a squeeze to 24447. Beautiful move right now. Beautiful move. Beautiful move. Look at that move to 384. Again, this doesn't lie. This is a scalper's market for sure. The 5-minute gave the setup. You got a 2-up. 15-minute gave you a 2-up as well. Took it to 24, 384. Now, if that holds, they're going to take it higher to 448. You could see a squeeze pretty much. A big squeeze. All right, looks like that 384 is going to be some intraday resistance as of now. That's what it's looking like. So I'm going to call it here. I don't see a reason to continue chasing unless it squeezes above 384. Then you can chase it to the next level up here at 447. But it's about to be 11. Market's gonna close soon. Well, not soon, but I mean, things tend to dry out around this time. So I'm gonna call it a day here. But it was a very nice bounce from the bottom here. My goal is to be live next week. So yeah, I'll see you all then.